We're good? We're starting?
Oh,
I got to
yeah.
get serious?
Gotta get serious.
All right. Hey! How's everybody doing? I think it's Friday. Is it? Yes. Okay, thank you. I think it might be noon. Is it? Not sure about that. It's time for Festool Live. I scared you, didn't I, Chris? Yes, I did. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're excited today. Minnie, are you excited? Okay, let's announce the room. Over here, we got Big D.
Hey,
Woo-hoo!
everybody.
Team Play Next today. On the camera, we have Chris Cyber, the unit. Right here, we have Minnie.
Hi.
And I need a glass of water here. I'm a little parched. Okay, everybody. Away we go. I got to do a quick announcement. Online, we have Brent. I'm reading. I forgot Brent. Brent, how could I forget you, buddy? Thank you for being there. You're a Q&A guy online. Minnie's on the whiteboard. Okay, so YouTube, you're on it. Don't forget this lives on Instagram. Don't forget it lives on Facebook. And don't forget to hit that notification bell on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, please. We really appreciate it. And also, the boys have been very busy this week. And they indexed all the episodes on YouTube. So if you type in at the Festool USA YouTube channel, KPEX, all the KPEX episodes come up. And if you type in Domino, which today I have a Domino presentation for you, demonstration, on a very common question that I get all the time. Because this is episode number 58. And I think we get about 5 or 6 episodes just on the Domino alone, because it's one of those tools that we get a lot of questions on, and I could actually teach you how to use these tools in the right light. Hey, Mo! Speaking of light. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. So, I'm going to go back to an episode we did, I think last fall, was it, guys? Episode number 32.
Sounds about right.
And it was really important because we built this drawer box right here. Okay, and we use through tenon joinery, okay? And if you remember, it's going to be a little bit of a review today because we're going to do blind tenon joinery on here. You're not going to see the tenons, okay? And I want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone because A, I could show you how to use the 4mm Domino, and B, all the questions we get about the setup for the 4mm. And we're also going to do some radius moldings. Okay, base molding, and I can coach you through a few things, what to look for, how to set up your DF500 for it. Okay, so there we go. That's going to be just a quick highlight of what we're doing today. We're going to not make a full drawer box. Remember last time I didn't measure it correctly? I got it measured correctly, but I didn't, what? I didn't measure that bottom right. Okay, so now, okay, here we go. When you're building a drawer box, and I always like to teach people, a drawer box is basically a cabinet where you're going to stress out, say this is your top and bottom, you always put your bottoms and tops between your sides. That's how you build a cabinet. Like I got one over here that we're building a new sys wall on, and I just cut up all this material, but here's just a quick example, my top and bottom. Basically, a drawer box is a cabinet, but what? Laying flat. And you know you have to build it like this because that's where if something's in here, it's going to bump back and forth. You need to put some joinery in there. Okay, now if you don't want to see the through tenons, which I think are really nice, I use the 5mm tenon. Okay, we're going to set it up to do a blind tenon in there so you don't see anything on the side. Okay, and just so what it looks like, you can see right here, here's the joinery. And you're going to see numbers. It's going to be a little bit of a review. It's basically the setup. The one thing that changes, A, is the bit. Duh. And also the plunge depth changes. But it's still, I'll show you what the 20 to 37 mean on here. And I'll show you the setup for that. But there you go. There's your 10. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it on white melamine. Always remember this, when you're doing your labeling of your drawer box, I always make sure when I label, I put the groove to the groove. And I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so let's talk about the machine really quick, because here is where you really have to pay attention. Because I can describe this 100 times over, and until you go through it yourself and do it, that is when the light bulb goes off. and I used to go like this all the time. The setup for the Domino 4mm cutter, if we look at it, you see these are your regular cutters, your 5, your 6, your 8, and your 10. And I always would pop this out and say, look, your 4mm is not the same length as the rest of them. The others, the 5, 6, 8, and 10, are all the same length. This is your 4mm cutter, and it's 10mm shorter. So what I did is I thought about this, and I had Big D get a good zoom on this one. You'll see it right here. I made a makeshift bar graph out of the Domino cutters themselves. So here's your 10, your 8, your 6, and your 5. And here's your 4. And I put them right to the edge, and I drew a line. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, now, there's your line for all your other cutters. And here's the tip of your 10mm. And if we look, it's 10mm shorter. So here's the confusing part to all of this, is when you put, and I'm just going to pop this off really quick, okay? When you pop off and you put on that 4mm Domino cutter, this scale goes haywire on you, okay? Because those are not your plunge settings, because this is 10mm shorter. So if I set it, and here's your setting to do that blind tenon, you set it at 20, and you're actually plunging what, Big D? 10mm. So your Festool Domino is a what? 4 being a thickness, right? And 20 being a length. So to go equally into each piece, you have to go 10mm. So your setting, if you write anything down or review anything, 20 is your depth setting. And hopefully I explain that properly to you by visually showing you that 10mm shorter bit. Okay? The other thing when we do this today is I put on, and I'm going to go through this. I have this set up, but I'm going to reset it for everybody so you can all see it. I'm going to just mess with this just a little. I set my plunge depth at 20. But anytime I put anything on the Domino, like this support, because I'm going to be plunging vertically now today, okay? I always, I'm just gonna loosen these, okay? See these 2 tap holes right here? When you put something on into those holes or on the base, always make sure it's on a flat surface. That way there, the fence or the support bracket aligns perfectly with that fence or that front part. So I'm gonna tighten it up, tighten it up. Now, I want you to pay attention to these. These are these little wings here. Okay, so these will come into play momentarily because I'm going to do a little bit of labeling. When I set this up, here's my front or back. Here's my groove. Remember, I'm going to put groove to groove. Here's my side. Okay, when I do the labeling here, let me go over this again. Okay, really quick. This, I'm going to contradict myself. This is going to be my side. Okay, this is going to be my front and back. Okay, when I do this, okay, so here's my side. I'm going to plunge vertically. I've seen people do this. I got to make mortises just like that. Okay, now, this is my front and back. So I'm going to put it here. Remember I told you it's going to be pinned in between the sides? Here's a quick reference mark that I try to show everybody because it's really simple. This is where I'm going to lay, watch, this part of the Domino. I call it the plate. All right, so on this one, my plate is going to lay right here, okay? I'm going to plunge vertically like that. That's why I want the support bracket. On here, this is where I'm going to lay my plate from the outside, not the inside. I always write H for horizontal. Now, there's 2 other numbers I'm going to put on here, just so I don't get confused. I'm going to write here, and I'll explain in a minute, 20 and 37. And the reason for that is I actually have this visual for you here. If I use the flap on the machine here, look, see the flap, and reference the edge, from the bottom, and this is why I have 37, I'm going to place my 10 in here. But from the top, if I go 37, they're right here in the middle. I want a more pleasant looking, what? Spacing. Okay? So I did that. That's for the through tenon. I do the exact same thing for the 4mm. Okay, now, if you remember when we were doing this previously, okay, my gauge block is pulled completely out, And I take my plate and I bring it right down and I lock it in. I'm going to do all these in the tight setting. That way there I have alignment on my tops and bottoms. Okay, so when I go into a glue up, it doesn't shift. Cool. So I got it all set up. I'm just going to verify everything before I go. And I got to coach you on one more thing. I want to make sure my flaps are working just right and not holding up. That means I put too much pressure down on my plate. So I take it, I bring it right down. And if I bring it all the way out, okay, let me get there. If I bring it all the way out, from here to here is 6 millimeters. And look, it reads right there, 6 millimeters. So I'm ready to go. My flaps are working. I'm good to go. Just move it out just here and just nestle in. Now, I'm going to turn on my Vaxis. Okay, and let's plunge vertically first. Because, Big D, you got this?
Yep.
Okay, I want to coach you on something. And this is important. Whenever I'm starting to manipulate these wings here, like I'm going to be going 20 from the top on here. Okay, 37, I'll use this flap. Okay, but when I'm plunging vertically from the 20, I bring this out. And now that gives me, look, this is why I wrote 20. From here to the center line is 20 millimeters. Okay, so I got to, now, here's the thing I got to coach you on. I got to verify everything before I start. Okay, I got it set at 20. I'm bottomed out. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go 6 millimeter from the top. By the way, this is 12 millimeter drawer stock. So half of 12 is, Minnie? 6. Yep. Mrs. Metric is in the house. Okay, good. So there we go. I'm going to just verify I'm at a right angle there. Now, here's what I want to mention. If I'm going to be going like this, so I'm going to be using this flap here, and I'm going to bring it down. Here's what's really important. I need to move that out of the way to use that. You never, ever go near this while the machine's running. You'll see. So I'm going to take it like this. See how my plate's right here? My pressure's right here. Okay? And I'm going to plunge in like that. And that gives me 20 to the center right there, and I haven't blown through. See how I turned it off? Now I can push this back. In other words, if this was still running, that bit is so close to the top there, you could actually hurt yourself. So be very careful. Always take your time while doing this. Remember, I've shown you this in previous videos. See this button right here? This is your on-off switch. I like to just take it and pinch it on. It makes it really easy. So there you go. So there's the first part of the equation. Okay, both tight and tight. Now the next one I'm going to do, remember, I don't have to think about it. Say you get like 10 drawer boxes. That's 40 pieces. All right? You have to label all those pieces so you don't mess up. Okay, and there we go. Make sure the groove is off the gasket. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go 37. See how I've labeled it. I'm going to grab it just like this. Okay, I'm going to stop it. Then I'm going to move that 20 millimeter wing in like that. And now I'm going to bring it right over and finish the job. Woo! I think a lot of things on this, as I was prepping yesterday for this, I think a lot of this is how to do things safely. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So here we go, just like this. There's your domino tenons, 4 millimeters. And let's see how we did today. Oh, I did not catch something. Look at that. What went wrong? The guys were asking me, okay, where's the hiccup going to be today? So what did I do? Let's look at this. I kind of have a funny feeling I didn't fully capture. Watch. So I'm going to do this one over. I bet you that's not 37. I bet you I didn't capture that flap properly. You know what? I didn't. It was holding up on something, so I'm just going to take that flap and do it over again. There we go. There we go. Let's just bring it over. Now, I still have from the top and the 20 tight and tight, so I can still save this. You'll never see. The only people that are ever going to know I made a mistake are the people watching. Okay, so that wasn't the mistake. Where was the mistake? So let's try this one. Let's try the horizontal. And do that one over. So let's see what happened. Actually, probably not much. Let's see. Let's get that in there. Let's get that one in there. And there we go. Okay, so let's look at alignment now. It's perfectly aligned from the top. And look at that. It's perfectly flush there. That's what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, so there's the first joint. Whew! Okay, now let's talk about this. Everybody wants to know on the 4mm Domino, I need to bevel. I want to do a radius molding. Okay, around what? Not a perfect point on my drywall, but a radius corner of my drywall. So I cut all of these today, and I want to point this all out for you so you understand this. Hopefully I'm clear enough. I cut these on the Capex, all at 22.5. And there's a lot of information I'm going to be dishing out in the next 5 minutes. Okay? So, important to know that when you're doing this bevel, you got to know your molding and where you're going to use your flaps and how you're going to index it. Okay? This gives you perfect alignment until glue sets up. And I have a sample here. If I used the 37 like this on the bevel, okay, and did my 2 tenons like this, 4mm tenons, from the front, I'd have to get some of that putty in there, right? Because I had blow through. Now, I'm setting you up for a future episode of Festool Live today because I get questions all the time when I'm doing returns on crown for like some shelving or cornices. Can I use a tenon and how do I do it? Well, I got stuff set up over here that we're going to have a future Festool Live on how to do moldings with the Festool system with the Domino 4mm. Okay? I've had a lot of questions over the years on it. Whew. So here we go. All right. So I did a little bit of labeling this morning, and I'm going to label this one right here. I'm going to use the 37mm flap from here, okay? But if I use the 37 from here, that's a no-no. I'm going to come in, and you'll be able to see that. So what I'll do is I'll mark one board for you to see. I'm going to mark it from the top, and I'm going to go down 50. That's where I found the right spacing for myself yesterday when I was setting this up. Okay? So it's a quick layout like this. And you'll see I labeled this one 50 from the top. But here's the trick, and I'm going to show you a jig I made for this one. So here we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up, and I think I did this last time, okay, with the Domino. You can go back and review it. I think we did it a few weeks ago about working on the bevel, okay? And I got all kinds of stuff planned this summer working with the Domino. The one thing I want to point or show you that's important is I cut these at 22.5. You do not set your Domino at 22.5. You set it at the complementary angle. So you subtract 22.5 from 90, and it gives you
67.5.
67.5. Big D was just subtracting it on his smartphone. Okay. So there is a positive detent here. And I want to do the set. I'm going to take this off because I'm just going to use the 37mm flaps. Okay. Just like this. Okay. Make sure your gauge block's all the way out. I'm going to take it, and you'll hear the detent, 67.5, and lock it in. Now, you can always verify that by taking your piece that's cut at 22.5. Let's see if we can get that. You see how that's flat and that's flat? Just like that. They meet. So you know you have it set up. Woo! All right. So these parts here are easy. Okay? I'm just going to do these on the Vaxis. All right? Make sure I'm not in the profile with the gasket. Okay. Now, see this little flap? I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make sure I hook it in. And make that plunge, okay? Just like that. This one, I'm going to do a little bit wider. Okay. Okay, so there you go. See it? They're perfectly in line. Good. I'm going to turn it off just to make sure. Verify my work. Absolutely. Now, I want to point out, I took that plate and made sure. See, there's a little offset here. Okay, that's for the undulations in the wall. I made sure, you'll see that makes me a little thinner than that. It's just I made sure my plate was resting on this because that was also where I wanted it. Now the next piece, I'm going to take it like this. Bring it right over like this. Make sure I hook it in. I'm going to do it tight. Then I'm going to come back and do it wide. But I'm going to be eyeballing it right here on that line. I think a lot of the times it's just, and I've said this in other domino episodes, that anytime I'm using the line, I'm marking the line, and I'm using my eye, not the reference of the machine, I always go to a loose setting, okay? Oh, the domino bevel was episode number 55, in case you need to reference that. Now, here's the trick, okay? How do I do this piece? You do not, I repeat, you do not, because I have to, think about it, because of this radius, I have to go in here, and I have to mortise on both these sides. And this is a really tiny, teeny piece, okay? So how do you do it? No, I repeat, you do not do it like this. That's too dangerous. So what I did is anytime I do this, I love making bench hooks for everything, okay? Because what does it do? It goes right up against there. It's my clamping station now, but I took a piece of off-cut material, and look what I did. Now I have the whole thing to reference with my plate on top here. It's a nice, safe operation. So I'm just going to come right in. I'm going to make sure I hook that piece. Make my mortise. I'm going to come right in here. I'll do this one loose. Okay. I'm going to come over here, do this one loose again, making sure I'm resting on the bevel. Then I'm going to come back and do that other side tight. But make sure that plate's on there and that's tight. Drum roll, please. Let's see how this goes. So there's my tight. Wow, that's really tight. So what do I always do? I never sand the face of a domino. I always sand those little ribs off. And I've talked about that before. To get it to go right in there, and those tight ones like this. Okay, just like this. Man, that was, oh my God. Minnie, that was a quick 20 minutes, wasn't it? It was. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. And let's see. Cool. I messed up your first one, right? Let's see if I mess this one up. And by the way, I'm really good at messing stuff up. Okay, you guys probably all know that. So let's check this out. 22.5. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh, that one went together good. Let's
One
check
more to
this
go.
one.
Let's see.
One more to go. Drum roll, man. So there you go. Right around the horn. And there's your radius, okay?
She's a beaut, Clark.
Okay, and just think about it. And I want everybody to understand this. That is a 90. Do you know why? What's 22.5? Look, just always do this in your head. What's 22.5? 22.5. Look, you got 22.5 here, 22.5 here, and 22.5. Minnie, what's 22.5 plus 22.5?
45.
And what's 45 plus 45?
90!
Wow!
90 years!
I'm out of here. It's amazingly simple if you know the depth is set at 20. Work in your complementary angle. Please remember that. It's not what you cut it at. It's what you cut it at subtracted from 90, so it's 67.5. Just remember that, and it's a no-brainer. So that's why we developed the 4mm domino, to do half-inch material, because everybody was asking it right away after we came out with in 2006, the Domino DF500. Okay. Wow. I think that's a permanent.
Oh, they love it.
Okay, so I'm going to call everybody out who's watching. First and foremost, Judah, Selah, how are you guys doing? Woo! You guys are rock stars on YouTube, Judah and Selah. All right, so let's call out. Oh my God, Minnie, get a hold of this unit. Look at that. Holy macanoli. All right. Hey, guess who's there? Oh, Minnie, that's cute. Delaware. I'm going to do it again. Okay, everybody, we got the Netherlands, Copenhagen, Denmark, Jolarve, Finland, Fenton, Michigan, Woodcraft, St. Louis, woo! Edmonton, Alberta, Ian, how are ya? From East Yorkshire. Warren from Batavia, Ohio. Hans from Durban, South Africa. Chris from Malta. Chris, what's up? Hola from Luis. Phoenix, Arizona. Estonia. Tom and Kelly, you're here again. Thank you. We love you. From Eatonton, Georgia. Haverhill, Mass. Frederick, Maryland. Whitestone, New York. Kent, UK. Springfield, Ohio. Katy, Texas. I think that's new.
Oh.
All right. Sydney, Nebraska. I don't want to say it like questioning.
It was new to me. Sydney,
Okay,
Nebraska.
Sydney, Nebraska. Or is it Sydney from Nebraska?
No.
All right, how are you? Okay, Wake Forest, North Carolina. Berlin, Germany. Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Gordon from Edinburgh, you're always with us. Dale from Swadencote. Lausanne, Switzerland. Louisville, Kentucky. Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Kurt from Rochester, Michigan. Southern California. Is that Oliver? Long
Yes.
Beach, California. Cape Cod. How are you, Cape Cod? It's summertime. Woo! Minnie.
Huh.
How the heck do you say that? Peruvians?
But it's Belgium.
Hey, Belgium! Oh, I got to go look that one up.
Yeah.
Monday I'll do that, Min. Charleston, West Virginia. Independence, Kentucky. Boucherville, QC.
Quebec.
Quebec. Okay.
I don't know what their initials
Oh
are.
my God, Minnie. Gouda, the Netherlands. Perth, Australia. Island of Bermuda. Somerset, Kentucky. Slovakia, EU. Dorado, Puerto Rico. Flagstaff, Arizona. Garrett Kalami, South Africa. Greeley, Colorado. Quebec, Canada. Paramimbo, Suriname. Tinley Park, Illinois. Woodcraft, Washington, D.C., baby. I know you guys. Austin, Texas. Hey, Rob, you ready? Cinnaminson, New Jersey. That's easy these days. St. Louis, Missouri. Poland. I'll do it again, man. Delaware. All right. Weldon. Weldon, Saskatchewan. I feel like I'm on Wayne's World. Lancaster, PA. Fredericksburg, Virginia. Springfield, Virginia. Wayward, California. Leicestershire. Leicestershire, England.
Yeah.
Okay. Lyngby, Denmark. Lithuania. Is that you? Solius, Atlanta. Dawn from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Minnie, I'm turning your whiteboard.
QC is
Holy
good.
moly. Oh, my God. Aurora, Ontario.
Thank you, Francis.
Raymond, Maine. I love Maine. Monterey, California. Monterey Bay, California. Dealer, Holschen Smith Technic, New Mexico.
Yep.
Ledyard, Kentucky. Bellevue, Nebraska. Tallinn, Estonia. McFarland's Mill, Winchester. Woo! Paris, France. Montreal. Rodenport, Johannesburg, South Africa. Woo! Union, Maine, Italy. Hawaii. Is that you, Garrett? Up at 6 a.m. for this. It's Garrett. You know it's Garrett. All right. International Space Station. Minnie, that
Our
would
guy's
be
back.
Minnie, that would be the ISS. Okay. Mountain Green, Utah. Fayetteville,
Georgia.
Georgia. Peter from South Africa.
No, it's a place.
Pieter.
Pieter.
Pieter, South Africa. And leave this afterwards, Minnie. I got to write down that other one because, boy, I got to really look up that pronunciation from Belgium. Okay, everybody. Is that it?
That's it.
I can't believe that is the quickest half hour ever. That's episode 58. What do I always tell you, listener? We love you, man. We love you, man. I feel like I'm on Wayne's World. We love you. No, really, we love you. No, seriously, thank you so much for watching. You guys have made our 2020. You're making our 2021. this has been fantastic because we have the ability to teach you about Festool. We love you. I can't say it enough. Everybody, thank you from Minnie, from Brent, from Unit, from Big D. That's a wrap. Have a killer weekend. And we'll see you there next Friday. And I'll leak it out. We're going to be doing some polishing. Woo!
Oh.
Everybody wants to see it. So we'll see it. Thank you very much. And we're out of here.